Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Oud and more specifically about my top 10 most favorite Oud perfumes. That being said, I have samples of the first 9 picks and a full bottle of my number 1 pick, which is one of those intoxicating, natural smelling Oud perfumes that everybody should actually try at least once in their lifetime. Now, as an Oud lover, I must tell you and warn you that this is a very particular note that is not bound to be loved by everybody, especially because natural smelling Oud has a tendency, especially coming from the region of Laos, to smell a bit animalic and funky and sometimes cheesy and barnyardish at the beginning. But bear in mind, if you give it some time, the stages will make the scent transform in a way that it goes from barnyardish and cheesy to sweet and milky and greenish and herbal, and it has so many different mysterious facets that it is one of the most particular ingredients used in perfumery. And this is why the whole craze about Oud has begun a few years ago, and perfume connoisseurs go crazy about it. Now, that being said, I placed my perfumes in such a way that my top picks are actually the most wearable natural Ouds, whereas my number 10 and number 9 are delicious but a bit off-putting, especially during the first stages of the life of the perfume itself. So that does not mean that my number 10, number 9, and number 8 picks are not good. They're delicious. It's just that sometimes they can be off-putting. So if you're able to survive the first 20 to 30 minutes, then you're going to be left with a sensation of delight, and an incredible experience will actually take place. Whereas my top picks are exceptional from beginning to the end, okay? They do not give you the feeling of that cheesy, fecal Oud perfume. I also have to give you a note, a small fact, that I did not include the combination of Rose and Oud because that's a whole different genre to me, whereas perfumes such as Satin Mood, Silk Mood, Oud Palau, Oud Ispahan, etc. have been left out. But that's just because I'm planning on making a different video where I'm giving you my top 10 picks when it comes to the combination of Rose and Oud. So I also have a few honorable mentions. Without any further ado, we're going to start off by my number 1 honorable mention, which is Royal Oud by the house Aventus. This is mainly centric on cedar wood, and it has a tiny bit of natural Oud in it, but this is the very low quality type of Oud, okay? And it is in such a low percentage that it did not make the list. Very easy to wear, can be a signature scent, very well made, but will not fit into the top 10. Next, of course, I had to put Oud Wood from Tom Ford, which is a fantastic scent, but I have a better alternative within my top 10 that uses natural Oud, whereas Tom Ford Oud Wood use a synthetic accord created by Givaudan. Givaudan pretty much makes the Oud accord for every designer perfumes in the world. So this is the reason why they all smell more or less alike. Robert Piguet Bois Noire is another honorable mention. And then, of course, by the house of Guerlain, I have Songe d'un Bois d'été. Now, Songe d'un Bois d'été is a discontinued perfume, even though apparently they simply rebranded it as a different perfume, but I didn't put my nose on it, so I can't really make a comparison and see if it's the same juice. So this is just an honorable mention. And also, bear in mind that I am not gonna mention Pardon by the house of Nasomato, because the reason is it does not contain any Oud, even though when you go to the Fragrantica website, the first note that pops up, it's a good smelling perfume, I must admit. The first note that pops up is oud, but that, let me tell you guys, does not contain any oud, neither natural or synthetic. So I think it's ridiculous that even though the perfumer does not release the note breakdown, Fragrantica decided to put oud as one of the main notes. That is just crazy. The reason why people think it smells that way is simply because of the perfumer who mixed a couple of notes that are patchouli and vanillin, so synthetic vanilla, together, which creates a very particular accord that is reminiscent of woods, but let me tell you, it has nothing to do with actual oud. So these are some things that are a mystery to me, but nevertheless, Pardon does not exist in the oud category because that's a patchouli fragrance, all right? Now, let's start off with my top 10. Now, my number 10 pick is none other than Oud Infini by the house of Dusita. This is a 2 ml sample that I got directly from the website. I paid €8 for it. So every spray is worth €1. Okay, so this is a very expensive fragrance. And the reason why it's at my number 10 is because of the very animalic, cheesy, sharp opening. I love it. I find it extremely sexy, but it's not as wearable as my top picks. So I just want you to know that if you want to experience the real smell of civet and oud, go ahead and give this a try because it is a mesmerizing experience, but very polarizing at the same time. I will do a full review about this perfume because it is actually worth it. Next, number 9, I have from the house of Bortnikoff, Oud Maximus. Now, this has an opening that is even cheesier than Oud Infini, okay? So, the master blender, master perfumer, Dmitry Bortnikoff, who is an oud distiller that works with Russian Adams at the company Fil Oud, and they both created their own separate brands, has created a perfume that is really unique, dedicated to his son Maximus, and that really gives you the impression of what Laotian oud smells like. Now, Laotian oud is one of the most barnyardish, hard to appreciate types of oud. So the opening will put you off 100%, but give it 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and all the floral, sweet, greenish aspects of the beautiful natural oud will start coming by. Oud Maximus. Next, at number 8, still from the house of Bortnikoff, we have Oud Monarch. Now this is a bit easier to wear. The opening is less cheesy and animalic than Oud Maximus, but still kind of harsh and barnyardish, if you know what I mean. But right away, from the cap, if you wore this a couple of times like I did, you smell the nuances of cocoa, chocolatey cocoa, tonka bean, floral, tropical floral notes. It's a really extremely sexy and particular scent that you really need to give it some time to do its magic. Whereas my top choices, they have magical notes from beginning to the end. So this is also the reason why it's at number 8 and not down further the line. Bortnikoff Oud Monarch. I was planning on buying this one, but it is a perfume that would be only worn for my own pleasure, because everybody else around me, my cousins, my sisters and brothers, my own girlfriend, they don't really appreciate it that much. So I don't know if I'm gonna take the plunge. Now, at number 7, we have a perfume that is extremely wearable and very loved from the whole fragrance community. And this is none other than Jubilation XXV by the house of Amouage. Wonderful house. which I'm going to talk about in the future. Now this is Oud made in the French style, so extremely airy, wearable, and beautiful. It has a very spicy top note. This has zero barnyardish effect on you when you apply it, so it's wearable from beginning to the end. And from now on, we're gonna name only perfumes that are incredible from top note to bottom note. Jubilation 25, my number 7 pick when it comes to Oud. Now, my number 6 pick, it is from the beautiful house of Oud Du Bois, which is a very polarizing house because of the very high price tags. But let me tell you guys, this is the best cedar and oud based perfume around nowadays. If you think that Royal Oud is a good perfume, then give a try to Oud Rouge Intense. Okay, rouge means red in French, and this is a perfume that I wore this morning, and of course right away my girlfriend claimed that I smelled really good. Is a very unique and natural smelling perfume that really bolsters the notes of cedar, spices, and oud. A bit powdery, yet sophisticated, delicious, manly, invigorating. Wonderful, wonderful stuff, and I am on the verge of getting a bottle of this. And the good thing about the house of Oud Du Bois is that even though the prices are extremely high, they have 15 ml bottles, so I can really dwell on those little tiny bottles and enjoy them without having to be drowned by debt, because these perfumes are expensive. And talking about expensive perfumes, number 5, again, Fragrance du Bois. This is Oud Violet Intense. Now this is a bit fruitier than Rouge Intense and more unique, so it comes at a better spot than Oud Rouge. This is a mix of LME resins, mandarin, and of course the signature natural oud from Fragrance du Bois. And this, of course, got me many compliments. It is extremely unique, and the name Violet, which means violet, purple, more or less, really is reminiscent of the kind of smell you will get with this one. Oh man, this is such a good juice. And I can tell you that the type of oud in these perfumes is not the fecal off-putting type. It's really milky, sweet, enveloping. I freaking love it. Love it. So, if you think that Tom Ford Oud Wood smells amazing, but you want something that smells even better, with better projection, better longevity, and better quality, then go ahead and try, by Fragrance du Bois again, Oud Noire Intense. Oud Noire Intense means Oud Black Intense, and this has notes of cardamom, spices, magnificent oud, and that sort of woody, aquatic feel that oud wood gives you, but it's so much sexier. This is so much better and more well made and better balanced and just overall amazingly well made, as opposed to oud wood, which is very good but has that synthetic feeling to it. Oud Noire Intense does the job in such a way that no other perfume does it. It's fantastic, and I'm planning on getting a bottle of this for sure. Now comes the top 3 picks from my most favorite oud perfumes, and my number 3 perfume is Oud for Greatness by the house of Initio. Now, this is not a complicated perfume. This is not the most unique perfume, but it is just very well made. It's a saffronic, medicinal take on the oud with zero cheesy note, zero animalic note, great projection, great sillage, and a great compliment getter. This is something that the women love on a man, and some actually love to wear it simply because of the fact that it does not bolster the animalic nuances that oud mixed with civet usually gives. So sprayed this morning, and it's still there. It will last 12 hours easily. Is a very well made, well blended, simple take on the oud. Oud for Greatness might become one of my oud perfumes within my collection. Now I know for sure that this next one will be my next purchase when it comes to oud perfumes. For sure. This is Oud Extrait by the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now I picked the Extrait version instead of the Oud Parfums version simply because of the added touch of vanilla and the beast mode performance. I really love vanilla in my fragrances, but let me tell you, this is a master freaking piece of a fragrance. I don't care if it's so expensive. I do not care because this is so unique. It is a sweet, medicinal, oudy, saffronic, spicy, warm, enveloping, velvety, beautiful, amazing perfume. And I love it to death. Now let me just go through a spray of this beauty. Oh man. I am utterly in love with this perfume, guys. I went through the sample in no time. My girlfriend tried it a few days ago and she just came by the kitchen and smelled divine, and this mixes so well with her chemistry. She smelled like a beautiful natural vanilla pod. It's amazing the way a person's chemistry combines with a certain scent. Now on my skin, this is less vanillic, more oudy, more medicinal, more powerful, so I guess it reacts with my sweat in a different way, but that is just how perfumes work. And I just love this thing. She even sprayed it on my daughter. She's 3 years old, and I loved the way it smelled on my daughter as well. Everybody has been putting this perfume in my house. So next purchase, Oud Extrait by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now, drum roll, my number one oud based perfume in the world. This, of course, uses natural oud from its own crops, meaning that this brand, which I have been talking about already, has its own crops of Aquilaria tree, which is the tree where oud grows, oud being a reaction of the tree when they are sick. And the quality is simply majestic. I am talking about Sahraa Oud by the house of Fragrance Du Bois. Now I think I got the last 15 ml bottle in the whole entire world. I went to the website and they were done. The 50 ml bottle was done, so I went to an Italian website that had the last 15 ml bottle, and lucky me, I got it just in time. Now what you can expect from this is a mesmerizing, intoxicating experience that is equal to being probably, I guess, in heaven. This could be the smell of heaven. Now, of course, since it has extremely high quality natural oud, there's a tiny bit of funkiness in the beginning, but that dissipates within 5 minutes. And then you're left with just a majestic, royal, CEO type of scent that I only use for extremely special occasions, such as Christmas, or whenever I have to go to my daughter's party, birthday party, whenever I want to meditate and I need to think and I want a scent that puts me in a mood where I feel close to God himself, I'll be wearing this. Okay, so this will last me an eternity, and I can assure you that no other oud-based perfume comes even close to the majesticness of Sahraa Oud, which mixes west with east. Combined together, creates a velvety, sweet, milky, slightly floral oud. But this is all revolving around the oud itself and the highest possible quality. For those of you who don't know, nowadays perfumes that use natural oud need to have certified oud from certified crops. It is of course illegal to be poaching oud trees from the wild, so this comes with a certificate. This comes with an oud chip from the brand itself, and this is simply my top favorite scent of the world. I keep it inside this box because I don't want it to be spoiled. And guys, if you can manage to put your nose on a sample of this, do it, because you will know exactly what oud smells like. All right, so I will be coming back with a top perfumes that bolster the notes of rose and oud, so that would be catered towards the feminine viewers. This was a bit more towards the men, even though most of these are unisex. So I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button or the subscribe button if you're new, and I will talk to you again soon. Take it easy.